And right now, new video into the Weather Channel. This is the zoo in Brownsville, Texas, and they've received a lot of heavy rain already from Hurricane Alex, and there is more on the way. And right now, we do have breaking news here on the Weather Channel. Alex has been officially upgraded to a Category 2 storm, and we think it'll make landfall very soon. Thank you for joining us on Weather Center. I'm Chris Warren.
And I'm Alexandra Steele. We're talking about 100-mile-per-hour winds now with this Category 2 hurricane. Live team coverage, and it continues right now.
Yeah, right. Storm Tracker Jim Cantore is live in South Padre Island in Texas. Meteorologist Mike Seidel is live in Brownsville. And our hurricane expert, Dr. Knabb, is tracking and analyzing the storm from our Atlanta headquarters.
And we will have more from all of them in just a moment. But first, to new information on this hurricane. Streets are flooded in the Mexican border city of Matamoros, and officials are evacuating thousands of people from nearby fishing villages. And South Padre Island, Texas, usually jumping with tourists this time of year. But today, a ghost town for the second day in a row. Also, Gulf Coast cleanup efforts are being sidelined by the rough seas. Well, let's get straight to our live team coverage. That's right. Storm Tracker Jim Cantore is live right now in South Padre Island, Texas. Jim.
Hey guys, yeah, it's been a rough day here, especially early on. We had just persistent rainfall. We've had as much as 4 to 6 inches out here on the island. The Weather Service office in Brownsville, actually I should say the EOC, about 6-7 inches there, and that's where we had certainly some of the worst flooding problems. This just in a while ago, down there across the bridge, the Causeway Bridge, which closed at 1:30 today, down there on Tarpon Street in Port Isabel, a foot of seawater over the bulkheads, guys, near Tarpon Street, down power lines, smoking in the water. That's why we need you to stay home, because winds are going to get stronger tonight. When they come down in those big pools of water, and you happen to be sitting in that water, you could be or standing in that water, you could be in big trouble in a hurry. So folks, again, live power lines all over the place here. There has not been a lot of loss of power. We have not seen a lot of that, and we may see it because we do expect the winds to potentially still gust to hurricane force. Let's find out where we go from here for South Texas. We've already had some flood situations, some sporadic power outages, as well as damage, as I just mentioned here. I want to bring in our hurricane expert, Dr. Knabb. Rick, we are now dealing with certainly one of the stronger June hurricanes on record, strongest since Alma in 1966. And now, certainly from a satellite depiction, this thing looks like it's trying to rapidly develop as it approaches the shore of Mexico, isn't it?
It is. It's not got a lot of time over water tonight to develop up to Category 3, but certainly it's become a Category 2. We're going to update our graphics as soon as we can, but again, the maximum sustained winds are now 100 miles per hour, and the minimum pressure has dropped from 959 down to 950. So it is intensifying, and you can tell on the satellite imagery, Jim, there's the best defined eye we've seen on the infrared satellite image since this system formed, but it still has a little bit of time over water, could get a little bit stronger, but I just don't think it's going to get to Cat 3, but Cat 2 certainly strong enough, and it's going to be pounding the South Texas coast with sustained tropical storm force winds. Can't even rule out a gust to hurricane force in the extreme southern portion of Texas, Jim.
So we got another dolly. Thank goodness it's 100 miles down to our south. As far as the land that it's coming into, apparently it's a very marshland area. It's very, very sparsely populated, and when we get stronger hurricanes like that one, that's where we like to see them come in. But let's talk about where we go from here. I mean, this isn't just going to shut down as soon as it makes landfall, is it, Dr. Knabb?
Absolutely not. This is going to be a prolonged rain event and possibly a prolonged flooding event in the Rio Grande Valley. And when we get later in the hour, I'll show you graphically where we think the greatest risk for serious flooding is. And it's not just in South Texas, in the Brownsville area and extreme northeastern Mexico. This is going to be headed inland, and all this moisture is going to head into northern Mexico and southern Texas. And there are mountains that are going to be catching a lot of that rain in northeastern Mexico. And then it's going to come downslope. We'll have an immediate flash flood threat and then a longer-term river flood threat. So this is going to be a very long several days with a lot of water being thrown into the Rio Grande Valley and surrounding areas, Jim.
Yeah, and it's a worst-case scenario because that area has already gotten 4 to 10 inches of rain, and then all the rain upriver has to come downriver into some of those same areas that are saturated. So you couldn't ask for a more catastrophic setup than that. Let's talk about the beaches now. We've got big wave action rolling up and through here. We don't get high tide till tomorrow morning. Is this going to be pretty much a what you see is what you get here? Is the water going to get that much higher?
I don't think you're going to see it get a lot higher because now, it's getting to the point where the circulation center is due south of the Brownsville area and the Texas coast. So you're getting probably the strongest onshore flow that you're going to get, and then maybe by tomorrow morning things will start to wind down. But The beach erosion, though, the pounding of the waves, Jim, that's going to continue to progress, even though the water levels might not get much higher than they are now.
And there has been beach erosion. I can see it visibly. We'll try and get you some pictures, guys, a little bit later on before the sun goes down. So the bottom line is we are not out of the woods yet, even though this is coming into our south and certainly making its way onshore. It is a big, sprawling storm, but I think by time all is said and done, guys, it will be the oil spill and the effects on it that it will be most remembered for. Back to you guys in the studio.
All right, Jim, thank you very much. We appreciate it. We'll head back to you in about 20 minutes. But first, let's go to Chris, who is standing by now with new information. Chris?
Yeah, and as we just were hearing just now, Alex is very close to making landfall, and new information, of course, is coming in all night long. Just minutes ago, the National Hurricane Center upgraded Alex to a Category 2 storm. We'll bring you the updates all night long, of course, here on the Weather Channel. The hurricane hunters are scheduled to fly into the storm again around 11 Eastern tonight, and we'll bring you that data when it gets